What is up, guys, and welcome to another edition of Market Marauders. Beating the market one trade at a time. If you're new to Market Marauders, the investment channel helps you find best deals in the market. If there's something you're interested in, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Definitely helps the YouTube algorithm promote the videos. All right, so we'll go over my Webull option picks for the week. So let's jump into it. First on here, we have Blink Charging, ticker sign BLNK. They are bullish at the time of this video, denoted by moving average 10, which is this red line, being above moving average 50 and 100, which is purple and yellow line. Overall, they did touch $53.95 this week. They ended the week at $49.50, but then after hours went down 45 cents to end at $49.05. Overall, from the indicators that I see on here, I think they still have a little bit more momentum to continue to go up, even though they ended on a negative note. So the two indicators that I have or that I use is that the moving average 10 is above moving average 50 and 100, and also use that VWAP is above the moving average 10 line. So since VWAP is over the moving average 10 line, which is red line, I would say they still have potential to go up. On the channel, I like to go over some background information, so let's do that to see some insights on whether it is a good pick or not. So if you look at Blink's press releases, just going to really read some of them. It says that they're introducing new product allowing streetlight utility poles to become a charging station. Blink Charging signs exclusive long-term agreement with Blessings Health System for the deployment of EV charging services in Illinois facilities. And they signed an additional development Blink-owned EV charging station at St. Luke's University healthcare facilities across Pennsylvania. And then recently, this came out the 22nd, that they signed an exclusive long-term agreement with Lee Valley Health Network to own and operate EV chargers across their portfolio of healthcare locations. So the company is extremely growing extremely fast, in my opinion, and they're just continuing to grow the amount of charge stations that they have throughout the U.S., and especially at these healthcare facilities, where I think is a very smart move, especially considering the pandemic going on. These healthcare facilities will have lots of people coming to them, and people who have electric vehicles who are going to look into the company like Blink to rely on their charging needs. So I think it's very smart for them to target these healthcare facilities for their charging stations, something that I've seen a lot of other companies don't really do, but I think this is a very good strategic move overall. So with that being said, going to the options side of Webull. So if you'd like to sign up for Webull, which is the platform that I'm using, and get 4 free stocks when you deposit $100 or more, I have a link down below in the description where you can do so, and then you can join along with this analysis as well. So I think a call is the best option with a strike price with an expiration date around the 19th of March that I'll put it in quarter 2. I think this company has the potential to get up to $70 a share, in my personal opinion. So if you go from 50 to 70 on here, you're looking to pay between $1,140 per contract to $680 per contract. Now, bear in mind, this is for educational purposes. This is not financial information. So if you like financial information, please contact your local CPA. This is just for educational purposes. So with that being said, let's go to the second one. Second one on the list is ticker sign NIO for NEO. They are bearish at the time of this video, noted by the moving average 10 line being below the moving average 50 line. Even though it's still above the moving average 100 line, I still say it's bearish because it's starting to go on a steady downtrend. Now, it did touch 49.84, which seems to be a resistance for it, and it did end on a positive note to end the week at $45.93. But I think it's going to need a little bit more push to where it be pushed back up. But I think it definitely has potential to do so. This company gets upgraded all the time, and volume-wise, it always has very high volume when trading. So during the day, volume, is always really high for this stock. So I think volume-wise, it will definitely help this stock to go up even more. So on their recent press releases, it says NEO announced the completion of their 68 million American dispensary shares. And then if we go to this December 1st, it's just their delivery numbers. So overall, they had an increase of 109.3% year over year, 111.1% year over year. And these are both delivery numbers. And then for cumulative deliveries, they had reached 68,634. So overall, I think pretty positive note for both of those. So Going into the options side on them, we're going to go to the options tab on here, and then we're going to type in ticker sign NIO for NEO. Going to try to look for one in Q2 as well, so it's going to be around March, April time frame. So they have one in April, so I'm going to pick the April time frame because it's a little bit further out. I think it definitely can hit this $50 range, especially since it's so close to it already. So at the time of this video, you'll be looking to pay between $1,035 per contract to $895 per contract. So that's between the $46 strike price to the $50 strike price. So next on here, we have ticker sign MRK for American Company. If we look, they are bullish at the time of this video, doing it by moving average 10, being above moving average 50 and 100, and their VWAP is above the moving average 10. They did touch this $80.43 level, so that's pretty good. They ended the week at $80.14, so still pretty close in that $80 level to touch that $80.43, which was their high for last week. Background information on them. We can see some of the things they're doing. They announced a supply agreement with the U.S. government for initial doses of investigational biological therapy for the treatment of patients with severe and critical pandemic. FDA grants priority review to supplemental biologics license application for Keytruda plus chemotherapy as first-line treatment for locally advanced unrestrictable or metastatic junction cancer. So basically they have this Keytruda that's coming out that they're getting FDA to review, and they're getting priority review, which to me I think is pretty good news, and definitely could take the stock even higher if they get approval from this review. Now, to get priority review to me makes it seem like this is a very important product, especially considering all the things the FDA currently has going on with the vaccine rollout that they're doing. Now, this is an agreement that they just had, so I clicked on the first article that was on there. But one of the interesting things that I think from here is that it says under the agreement, Merck will receive approximately $356 million for manufacturing and supply of approximately 60,000 to 100,000 doses of its MK-7110 to the U.S. government through June 30th, 2021 to meet government's Operation Warp Speed goals. This approach is intended to expedite delivery of MK-7110 to the American people as quickly as possible following the potential EUA or FDA approval. America is also investigating to expand its manufacturing capabilities to increase supply of this MK-7110. So this is basically to treat the symptoms of the pandemic. So I kind of treat this as a therapeutic, but definitely if they get this FDA approval and this EUA from the FDA, then I think the stock can continue to go up. So there are two, main drugs that this company is focusing on as far as distribution-wise that I think can help them to go, even further. And if they get both of these, I could definitely see the stock shooting up way past that 80.43 level that it currently was its weekly high. So with all the information being said, we're going to go to the option side. We're going to type in the ticker sign for MRK. So if we look on here, we're going to try to find a Q2 one as well. So we're going to go with April on here. And then if you look, $92.05 I think is a very realistic level that this can get to, especially having two potential FDA approvals on the horizon for this company. Now, if you look, you're going to pay at the time of the video between $266 to $64 per contract. So I think this is, one of the best buys value-wise on options so far. So I think a lot of people really haven't caught on to all the things that Merck is doing because they focused on, the other bigger companies like Pfizer and Moderna. But you also have to realize these other pharmaceutical companies are just as good, if not better, and sometimes are rolling out a lot of these things. A lot of these different companies don't get traction until news companies, or like CNN or MSNBC or companies like that, really take hold of what's going on and read those articles. That's how a lot of people get their news. But if you watch this video, you kind of got, it early. So just make sure you check those out, put them on your watch list, see how they work for you. This is not telling you what to buy or what not to buy. This is just giving you a suggestion. So lastly, we have ticker sign INO for Inovio. Now, Inovio released some news last week that I'm about to go over, but they did touch $11.03 last week. They are still bearish, in my opinion, at the time of this video, denoted by a moving average 10 line, being below moving average 100 line. Even though it's above moving average 50, I would still say it's bearish. But, it did touch 11.03, which I think it definitely has potential to touch that level yet again next week and in the future. So it ended the week at $10.42. So it ended on a positive note, going up 16 cents from its close. So that's always a positive, move for any stock. So the information that was released, this came out the 24th, so it's very recent. Inovio announced publication of its phase 1 data from its DNA vaccine, INO 4800, in the Lancet eClinical Medicine. So the peer-reviewed phase 1 data shows INO-4800 to be immunogenic in 100% of subjects, including neutralizing antibodies and or T-cell responses. INO 4800 demonstrates favorable safety and tolerability with no serious adverse events reported. Offers best-in-class thermostability, including a 5-year projected shelf life at normal refrigeration temperatures and no frozen transport or storage requirements. So I think this is huge news as far as their vaccine is concerned. I know there was a lot of problems with the Pfizer one, having it being stored at extremely low temperatures, and I didn't really see any shelf life information given for the Pfizer nor the Moderna vaccine. But I think with this data coming out for the Inovio one, I think is a positive move forward. I'm not downplaying the other two. I think those both are fantastic, and I think Pfizer and Moderna have done a great job with those. But for this one, having a projected shelf life of 5 years, I think will help with storing it. I think the Pfizer and the Moderna one are going to be the number 1 and number 2, but to know that there's one on the horizon that has a 5-year shelf life and has thermostability, I think it's very good and can survive under normal refrigeration will definitely help, especially if they go with the option to use FedEx and UPS as their distribution method, opposed to using other people, other organizations for distribution. I think it just helps with distribution overall and faster distribution of the vaccine, which is what we all need moving forward. So going into background information on them, not background information, going into the option side on them, we're going to look for another one that's in section or quarter 2. So looking on here, to go with, they don't have any for March and April, so we're going to go with August. So we'll try to go with the August date on here, which is out pretty far, but still, the whole point of going out super far is that theta decay. We don't want theta decay to depreciate our option, so I try to go at least 1 month out so we don't have to worry about theta decay, which, if you want to know more about that, I have a Patreon group down below. I'll explain it all for you on how to trade options. But we don't want theta decay. It's basically time decay. We don't want this. We want enough time for this option to execute. So between $11 and $15, I think is a good range. Whatever your price range is on there, but you're going to be looking to pay between $289 per option to $238 per option. So that's at the time of this video as well. So looking on here, you got Blink, which is ticker sign BLNK, NEO, which is ticker sign NIO, American Company, which is ticker sign MRK, and Inovio, which is ticker sign INO. Good luck to everybody out there trading. Hope you have a good holiday weekend. Hope you're able to spend some time with your families and, lock in those tendies. So, drop a comment down below. Tell me which stocks you guys are looking at as far as options are concerned. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Thank you.